In the hospital room, there were two seriously ill people. The first lay near the window, the second near the door. "What's there in the window?" asked the second. "There's a beautiful view there," said the first one. Every day, the person lying by the window told his neighbor about the beauty and events outside. One day, the man lying by the window began to choke and could not call the nurse. A neighbor watched this. He could call the nurse himself, but he didn't. After all, he was jealous of the neighbor and wanted to take his place. When the man near the window died, the one lying by the door asked the nurse to move him. Finding himself at the window, he exclaimed, "This window faces the wall. How could the deceased see such beauty there that he spoke about?" The nurse replied, "He didn't see anything at all. He was blind." How often do we, having good eyesight, see only the walls and office partitions around us? The great Japanese warrior decided to attack the enemy. Although the enemy had 10 times more soldiers, he knew that he would win, but his soldiers doubted. "Do you believe in luck?" the warrior asked his people. "Yes," they answered. "I'll throw a coin," said the warrior. "If it comes up heads, we win. If it comes up tails, we lose." The warrior threw a coin. It came up heads. His soldiers were so eager to fight that they easily won the battle. "No one can control luck," said the warrior's servant after the battle. "Of course not," the warrior answered, and showed him a coin with a head on both sides. The moral is that faith will help you win, even in the most difficult situation. Two different families lived in neighboring houses. Some quarreled all the time, while others were always quiet. One day, envious of the peace in a neighboring family, the wife said to her husband, "Go to your neighbors and see what they do, that everything is always fine with them." The husband went and began to observe. Then he saw that a woman was washing the floors in the house, and then her husband walked by and accidentally touched a bucket of water, spilling it. "Sorry, dear, it's my fault," the woman said. "No, forgive me, it's my fault," said the husband. The observer became upset and went home. "Well, what did you see?" asked his wife. "I got it. Each of us is always right, and each of them always guilty." The moral is that for family happiness, one must always find compromises. In one country, the king arranged a charity feast with the condition that he would feed only the lazy. Having learned about the king's generosity, crowds of hungry people came to the palace. Each of them declared that they were very lazy. All those gathered were taken to a special house for feasts. When everyone was seated, the king ordered the house to be set on fire. Seeing the fire, everyone ran out of the building. However, 2 remained. One of them said to the other, "My back is feeling hot." And the second one replied, "Just turn over on your side." Looking at them, the king said, "These are real lazy people. Feed them." The moral is that only actions allow us to understand the true intentions and character of a person. Don't trust words. In one coffee shop, an elderly man said to young people, "Be quiet, I can't hear myself." One of the young people replied, "Go home, you old fool." The elderly man jumped up from the table, and the young man too. They almost rushed at each other, but another elderly man intervened and stopped them. He turned to the young man. "I won't fight with you. I can barely tie my shoelaces. Let's just play a game. I'll ask you one question." "Come on," the young man answered. The old man said, "It was invented by someone who did not want to. The one who bought it doesn't need it. Whoever needs him is silent." "What is this?" The young man shrugged. "So what is this?" "Coffin," answered the elderly man. The moral of the story is that wisdom is more important than strength, and respect for elders comes with an understanding of the impermanence of youth and life.